What is up, Gaming Nation? This is JMU and we are playing College Football 25. We are here in the JMU Dynasty we got going on. We are the not the assistant coach. We are the offensive coordinator here at James Madison University, and we have put together our recruiting board. We do not have a strong team, definitely very weak, but what we've game planned here, we're going to go all in on three big players for us. We're looking at Dan Hepburn, who's a halfback, Emmanuel Rambo, and honest to God, it didn't matter what position he was in. His last name is Rambo. We're going Rambo. And Ben Nowak, who's an athlete. Realistically, he's listed as a scrambler. He could potentially be our quarterback. So we've got a number of players graduating who are our halfbacks, number of players graduating who are quarterbacks, and we need to rebuild. We are not a prestigious school. We are not a strong team. But again, ultimately based on that, if we can get Hepburn, we're in his number 3 slot right now. Going to be some fierce competition there in terms of North Carolina. I think we can do it, though. Again, we're going to go full on in. He is a receiving back, and that's the type of strategy we want to play. Rambo, he would be something that would be special if we could land him. He is a 4-star, and again, that would be a really impressive feat if we can bring him in at the full safety position. That would be big for our team. And again, Nowak, I can easily see us landing him. Because basically we've got Navy and Marshall ahead of us. And again, I think we bring the house on that. He is a scrambler. He's from Virginia. I think there's real potential there. Definitely looking forward to that. And then we have a lot of positions, frankly, that needs to be filled in terms of what we are looking for. So obviously, we've got a number of positions where we are competitive, actually. Looking at the 3 stars there, we've got Gabriel Coker. And again, at the left end, I think we can make a real pitch there. The downside is that it's not a pipeline, but he does like us, and there is a possibility there. And again, we've got Jeremy Calcutta, another halfback. He is a power back, so again, some diversity there, but he could potentially be in our 3rd slot. We've got some openings as well in middle linebacker, but again, we get a potential 3-star, and it is one of our pipeline states, our number 1 pipeline state. We've got some fierce competition there with Rutgers ahead of us, and he's playing in New Jersey, but I think we can pull that one off. And then we got Bob Mooring, quarterback. It's probably a stretch, but you know what? He's a 3-star. But again, I'm not necessarily going too hard into that one because, frankly, I think Nowak is our guy. And then Caleb Spears, defensive tackle. Yeah, we're going up against a lot of Rutgers competition there. That PSU one's going to be a tough one to get by. Levine, D'Angelo Levine, again, he's first place. I think he's pretty easy for us to lock up. Really, he shouldn't be 9th overall, but you know what, whatever. It's an easy one for us. And our fullback position's pretty weak. Again, not going to go super hard into this one, but we are very competitive. He is a 3-star for the Tyler Hicks, so we're going to see what we can do there. Dan Hempel, probably out of our reach at this point already. It really depends how things go right at the top of our list. Rutgers there again sort of has the lead. And then again, Rick Steven, and he's a tight end, only a 2-star. I don't love that, but we are in need of some tight ends, so we're going to have to look at that. Michael Griggs, again, facing off against North Carolina. We're in some tough competition for some of these. And then we're going James Penn as well. This starting to get into some of the lower tiers there. Ben Manning, quarterback, really don't have a lot of interest in him. Again, it's all dependent on what happens with Nowak and the play that we're going to make there. Hopefully we can land something good. I do like Stan Rippon, and I actually think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move him up our depth chart a little bit because, again, I think he's got a lot of potential. Really would like to get into that. We'll put him 13 there for now. Again, Manning, Drew McAleese, right guard. Again, that's a long game play there. He's a 3 stars. We'll have to see what happens. Dallas Spears, again, we're pretty far down there. If you look at the teams above us, I think it's a hard sell for us, to say the least. I like Yanda. I think Yanda at right tackle could be good, but again, Penn State just has a bit of a lead there. I could potentially move him up, move him right up to the top of our board. Might not be a bad play, but we're pondering that one. Also at Lockett, he's a JUCO, but we're pretty high on the board there, just below Wake Forest and Duke, so we can see how that plays out. And again, we've got Obi as well, Eli Obi, who's a JUCO as well. We're fifth on his board. We do have a definite lead there in terms of the recruiting piece, so that is something to consider. Sorensen, again, this is more of a filler pick at this point in time, but we'll have to see how things play out there. We do need some depth at right linebacker. And again, Cameron Ennis, same thing. Again, we're high on the board. He is a filler pick. Now, this one is a really interesting one for me. I've really pondered taking Alan Akbar and moving him way up to the top. We are 6th overall right now. The challenge for us ultimately is going to be, will he play for us? We have a great opportunity for that proximity to home, and man, bringing him down would be amazing. I just don't think we have what it takes though, to compete against the Clemsons of the world. FSU is in there, and we are a little bit behind, but he is intriguing. Charlie Russo, again, I think that one's probably lost already. Looks like he's going to Rutgers for sure. Nick Cook, again, we are in that one, but we're going up against Penn State. It just really depends how badly they want him and who they're going to have there. I like this DeMarco kid at cornerback, Johnny DeMarco. Again, more of a zone player. We're in the mix on that one. We're not too far out, but again, some really tough teams are ahead of us. Matt Raymond, again, we're right in the hunt there, but we're going up against Rutgers over and over. We do have some advantage there for sure in terms of proximity. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Larry Foylui? Again, we're in on that hunt as well, and that is a possibility. I do like the elusive back, so I think that could have some real potential. I see there we got a receiver on the board. There's really no one in play for this one, so this could be a later in the Dynasty pickup, potentially. Cesar Gallegos, what a name, what a haircut. My God, what a man. We could potentially go in there. Penn State has the edge, but you know what? They may be full by that point. Nwosu, again, I think this one's probably too late, but something to look at. And putting one of our players on the board. This is kind of a just for fun player. I don't think we'd have any chance. Put him on the board just to see if he's going to be gone within the first couple weeks. But he is a West Coast kid there. Vernon Azuma, receiving back. Really like him. He's got some great skill set there. So it's something to look for. So ultimately for us, yeah, it's going to be a tough sell in terms of getting some good picks here, but we do have a lot of needs, right? Again, as you can see on the board there, we got a lot of red. Our quarterback situation is not good, not at all. And again, I wouldn't necessarily be happy if Barton the third was our quarterback, but it is a possibility, right? In terms of what we got there, but again, a lot of need. Once Adai basically finishes the season, we've got very little. Purdy will be out there too, so we've got very little run back. We need a big, powerful run back. In terms of our fullback, not a lot there right now that we're aware of, right? Just in terms of who we're recruiting. In terms of receivers, I think we have enough depth that we can get by, but that's definitely going to have to be addressed the following year. Tight ends, big concern there. Again, we've got the big seniors, 2 big seniors, but we're going to need something better there, right? And then in terms of the offensive line, not particularly strong in a lot of positions. So it's again, there's just areas that we need to work on, and that's going to be one of them. Now, in terms of on the defensive side of the ball, again, the defensive side, and our head coach, he's a little bit stronger in terms of the defensive philosophy, so that's going to help us out. But again, we have a lot of need that's there. And you can see there, we've got a junior at left end. That's going to help us out. We'll get another season there. We are going after Yanda as well, though. We do have a nice right end there in Summerall. Again, junior O'Neill there. Not a lot going on for us there. In terms of the defensive tackle position, again, pretty weak. Outside linebacker, pretty weak. Middle linebacker, you know what? We've got a nice junior that's there, but we got a lot of needs there. And again, the right side is brutal. In terms of the cornerbacks, I think we're actually going to be in a pretty good position there. We've got two solid juniors, so we should have another year there. And full safety, you can see why we want Rambo for that full safety. He would change it all up because we're weak, very weak in terms of that full safety position. And strong safety, pretty weak as well. Haven't addressed anything in terms of that. May need to have that later. And in terms of kicking, yeah, you know what? We got some needs there in terms of kicking. So Relesi's going to, it'll be his last season. We're going to see if we can bring in Divine. And we also need to go after a punter there, which we don't actually have on our board because we are going to lose Hansen. So something that we're going to need to look at there for sure. Nothing in the transfer portal yet, obviously. And so in terms of James Madison, we do not have a particularly strong ability to recruit. We are a D+ for championship contender. That just hurts. Program tradition, there really is no program tradition. 104th overall, that's just brutal. Campus lifestyle, not particularly great. We're at a 75. Stadium atmosphere, oh my goodness, we're at a 90. We're at C-, 98th best stadium. That is just painful. That said, 21,000 for average home game attendance. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Actually, 87% filling it up. So that's pretty good. In terms of our pro potential, we got like nothing. 94. In terms of brand exposure, no one has heard of us. We're 131. That is absolutely horrific. We can definitely pay up our academic prestige. 66, James Madison. We are representing there. Our conference just sucks. Absolutely sucks. And that's going to be a tough one for us to sell on the SBC, but we'll do what we can do. Coach stability. Now, that's an interesting one because our coaches, you know what, we had a pretty weak coaching staff, but right now we're all considered safe. So that is a positive for sure. Now, coach prestige, I don't know how they give us a B+. Our coaching staff sucks. Absolutely sucks, but they're going to give us a B+ in terms of the coach prestige. And so I'm surprised by that, but honestly, you know what? If that's what works, then that's what works. In terms of our athletic facilities, again, absolutely awful. 99th overall, it's just not particularly good. So that said, you know, not ideal. We'll have to see ultimately what we can do. Again, you can see there quarterbacks on the board. We are definitely going to go hard for Nowak. See what we can do there. Potentially he's a C-rated player, but you know what? I think we can groom him. I think we can develop him there. We got in terms of the proximity to home, again, a lot of things that are happening there. Nowak, it's super high on our list. So we're going to see ultimately what can happen in terms of our schedule. Now, in terms of the schedule, again, we're not going to change anything. We're actually going to just go with what we have on the schedule. So we are going to start the season off at Charlotte. That should be a victory. We're going to see what we have there. Coming home to FCS East. Love that immersion, FCS East. Hopefully next year we can actually have FCS teams. Then we're going to have a bye. Then we get into it. North Carolina. At North Carolina, that is going to be a brutally hard game. Not expecting great things there, but we'll see what we can do. And then we're starting off on our Ball State, at home to Ball State. So I think that could be a victory. Really, we could potentially very, very easily be in a 3-1 position as we hit conference play. I'm not going to say 4-0, but I definitely think 3-1. Then we got UL Monroe, Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern, Southern Miss. That'll be a tough one. Georgia State, Old Dominion, Appalachian State. Again, that could be a really challenging game. And then we have Marshall to end the season there. So that's going to be a really tough one. And if we make it, ultimately the Sun Belt. So we're not a particularly strong team. It is going to be a real challenge, but I'm looking really forward to this season. Definitely looking forward to getting into this, starting that first game up, and we're going to see how we go. All right, well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and I hope that you really enjoy this series. I am so excited about this. Been waiting for so many years to make this a reality again. This is going to be awesome. We are going to absolutely love it. Thanks everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.